No. Yeah, we got card posting. I'm not subscribed to it. I should be subscribed to him. Yeah, this channel, mostly known to probably people that watch me as the guy who absolutely destroyed Alec Gunter. As if not enough people have destroyed Alec Gunter. He's someone that I think honestly gets off on being destroyed based on how many times it's happened. But this guy really knocked him out, you know, with the whole soy new male beta bug man or whatever the f was. Alec Gunter tried to stir some accusations up about this guy. He was like reading his fiction online and pointing out the grammatical errors and like pathetic shit like that, and got absolutely roasted by this card posting guy. But yeah, card posting has made a video about actual Jake, someone I've also talked about, who is very much in the same vein as Alec Gunter, as in angry male ally who doesn't seem to have much of a clue about anything. Supposedly was good at atheist shit once upon a time, but I don't know. If it was, that was a long time ago. I think atheism is a very easy avenue to go down because, well, it's like, well, prove there's a God. You can't prove there's a God. You know what I mean? You could do that ad infinitum. But yeah, card posting versus actual Jake. By the way, there is no one pointing a gun at card posting in any of these videos. I know it's probably what it looks like, but this is just how he is. But anyway, let's have a look.
Hello there, my name's Card, and here on my YouTube page I like to make simple little videos about things that cross my mind. Recently, I was doing some really basic data entry spreadsheet stuff for an upcoming project, and I decided to throw on some YouTube in the background as I worked.
Yeah, so basically we've got leftist Dax Flame. Looks like he's been handed this script to read and has someone pointing a gun at him in case he gets any of it wrong. But I'm not a fan of actual Jake, and card posting honestly is all right in my book.
Just as filler noise. I basically just hit play on the first thing it recommended me, and I guess the algorithm thought that I'd be interested in atheist debate lord content.
Unlucky. Hey, it happens to all of us. I watch The Line now and then. I've watched the odd actual Jake video now and then. I get some of this shit too. Don't worry.
Don't know why, but I was working away on my spreadsheet all the while, and in the end I just didn't bother to find something else to listen to all the same. So I ended up hearing this video called Atheism Destroyed by Tacos from a channel called Actual Jake. And by the end of it, I didn't think it had been all that good. In fact, I thought it had been very bad for a number of reasons. So when I wrapped up the data entry I was doing, I decided to...
See, this is what I like about him. What's wrong with his face? Listen, I keep saying I don't think anyone's pointing a gun at him, but it just looks like he is. I also would be surprised if he's not related to Dax Flame in any way. He really looks similar. The retro computer, I have no idea, to be clear. I don't actually know that much about his channel. He talks about like dog whistles and stuff, which is really not something that I would ever watch. Actual Jake doesn't fit in. Let's try Actual Joke. Actual Joke is my favorite. Actual Jackass, Basement Corn Dude. Do you think they're enough? Corn Gendered. That was another one.
To jot down some thoughts, which I'd like to articulate right now. And before I get into it, because it's always best to do so, and just in case you want to hear the video yourself, I'll link it and the channel it's from at the top of this video's description. So, I'm not familiar with this channel, but as far as I can tell, Actual Jake is a roughly 30k sub streamer type guy who goes around doing the new age.
30k subs sounds pretty decent, but from what I remember, it's a very old channel. This guy's been around. Oh, 34k, there you go. This has been around for a very long time. Like 5 years ago, and this is like a channel that came from a different channel, you know what I mean? And like he was doing all the debate bro shit. I think he still does do the debate bro shit. Challenges to a lot of people. Yeah, Bible Reloaded. It's the same guy, but he wears a corn suit and debates people. Like he challenges people to debates on like Twitter and shit like that, and a lot of this is really quite insufferable. Hypocrisy of conservative queer acceptance. Amazing. Quartering. Let's have a video on the quartering in In 2025, yes, 9 days ago. That counts. That counts. Matt Walsh on Buck Angel, calling him a sellout. You can't see all of this. Obviously simps for Luigi Mangione, because why wouldn't he? If you're that kind of person, you're literally, that's what you do. We love Jake. Yeah, Jake, actual Jake is a great channel. Just ignore the fact that I'm talking him a whole bunch. The last thing I watched from him was utterly good. Oh, and then he's shitting on Amala. Can't remember. I didn't see this video about Jaguar. I remember seeing how often he gets laid with women who aren't his wife. I haven't seen anything like that, but I know he's married. I guess most of these people are polyamorous or some shit. Matt Gates. This is like the most basic bitch kind of shit. And like, if you've been going for like 5 years and this is like your second channel, the next one, and we're still hitting like 4.2K, 5.5K, 3.8K, like 2.8K. I've got videos recently that got more than that. And I have like, what, almost 2K subs coming up on. Please subscribe to my channel, by the way. But yeah, there we go. Actual Jake. Like I said, sub count, not really that impressive. Yeah. So he worked with someone called Hugo who turned into Hannah, and then they stopped hanging out for some reason that I didn't bother learning about. Kino Casino. I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look into that.
Atheist bit of debunking small religious channels. And specifically, this atheism destroyed by taco.
He's in an open marriage, fucking hell. Does his wife ever fuck other people? I'm surprised he gets much action, because I've seen what he looks like, and like, he's like, I don't know. I think a lot of women could do better, personally. But hey, that's me. Maybe he's very charming. I suppose Destiny manages to f a godly amount of people somehow. Although Destiny is actually better looking than actual Jake, and a little bit smarter. So, I don't know.
Taco's video I'm talking about today is him, Jake, essentially doing that shtick to run-of-the-mill.
Speaking of Destiny, actually, that was my real like peak moment with actual Jake, is watching actual Jake try and argue with Destiny that his community was like uniquely toxic, when Jake is like the most toxic motherfucker out there, and all his fans are cunts. Like, go on fucking Twitter and see the way he acts, and tell me that guy has any business lecturing anyone, even Destiny of all people, about them having a community, which he might be right on, but he's got no room to complain, because his shit is even worse.
Daggy dad looking Christian guys who are explaining the 4 basic types of evangelical argument using this TACO acronym. Take a look.
Hannah was sexually aggressive towards. Jake seems like that kind of guy that would say that, though. Like, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, I don't know. I don't trust those kinds of people. I hear so many people going on about how much they get hit on and stuff, and I just don't believe half of them, honestly.
We came up with an approach, which we call the taco approach. The T is for teleological. A is for axiological. C is for cosmological. O is for ontological. So whenever you see a taco from now on, remember the taco approach.
Now, I'm not here to defend or attack people who want to make, or even just explain, religious arguments of any stripe. What I wanted to get into here is what actual Jake has to say about these guys, because it leaves me with quite a sour taste in my mouth.
Alright, before we actually see, let's guess, probably a lot of insults based on appearance or just being a Christian in general. Maybe something about fascism. I don't know, let's see.
Mouth. Because, having just found these 2 known
IQ-based, maybe. Bit of IQ-based ribbery. Let's see.
suburbanite church dads filming in a kitchen somewhere, Jake tries to pull out the owning you with facts and logic and pedantry attack on these guys. Firstly, I think Jake's arguments, which are supposed to totally dismantle these guys...
People seem to respect the, like, Bible-related shit. Like, thankfully, I don't really have any memories of that, so, like, everything I've seen of actual Jake, he seems like a soy you know what I mean? Let's make an actual Jake description. He's a left-wing new atheist cock who lives in a basement and makes reaction videos dressed as a cob. That's not far off, to be honest.
...are actually all really weak, especially for someone who presents themselves as a professional online debate skeptic. and I'll walk through why I think that in a moment. But more importantly, I just think this entire video of actual Jakes here is very representative of a greater problem among a lot of online content. It's just an exercise in sophistry. What I mean by that is, actual Jake is really not any intellectually better than these two guys he's responding to. In fact, I'd say...
See what I mean? Like, what I like about card posting is you just kind of say stuff, but it kind of carries a weight to it. I don't know. Like, the way he puts people down is like, I don't know, like a silent killer, you know what I mean? You don't even hear it coming.
He's arguably much worse, at least in this video.
I'm Master Beta, I'm trans card posting twin. Hey, maybe, listen, there are worse things you can be. There are worse things you can be, although I'm coming for his fucking subs. We're gonna overtake card posting this year. That's my that's my goal for this year, I guess. Probably not gonna happen, but hey, let's see.
What makes me say that is primarily the fact that every time one of these two Christian dudes explains one of their points, all Jake does is cut them off mid-sentence to groan and call them stupid without making any sort of point.
What'd I say? IQ based.
And he just mumbles a bunch of buzzwords.
Biased in favor of card because the same DNA as you. Maybe. I think he's related to Dax Flame, so maybe I'm on the other side. Listen, if I have genetic material in common with Dax Flame, then I'm fucking destined for this. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I hope you're good.
That sounds almost like a parody of edgy Reddit atheism. Take a look.
Today is that if God does not exist, then objective moral values and duties.
Oh my god, holy shit. Objective moral I mean, it's obvious that objective morality isn't a thing. It's not real. We are apes on this rock. You just don't have to believe it, but you choose to. It's crazy.
Don't exist. But objective moral values...
Listen. Card posting, if we do in fact share DNA, I try and pride myself on my sound at least not being terrible. Let's get some balancing going, you know what I mean? Let's get some balancing. Let's put it at the same level so I don't have to keep moving it. That's my one criticism, probably, but hey.
It's like it's stubbornness mixed with pussy shit. Like, you're just pussies when you don't confront reality.
Wait, what's he basing this on? Like, what's he getting this from?
God does not exist. Then objective moral values and duties.
Oh my god, holy shit. Objective moral I mean, it's obvious that objective morality isn't a thing. It's not real. We are apes on this rock. You just don't have to believe it, but you choose to. It's crazy.
Don't exist. But objective moral values...
It's stubbornness mixed with pussy shit. Like, you're just pussies when you don't confront reality, in my opinion.
No life at all would exist.
Listen, Gabe Horn will return one day. I have faith.
Yeah, that's not true. So what happens when they find life on another planet? What occurs to these guys? Does it fuck with them at all? This is a bad video. How many views does it have? I mean, this is presupposing, of course, a god is the argument, teleologically speaking. Why haven't Christians gotten any more arguments? I know why. There are none.
Yeah, this guy fucks, does he? Fair enough. Listen, I don't know where he's from. Must be slim pickings around there, that's what I'm gonna say. Although I think he's lost a bit of weight. He looks a bit slimmer than what I've seen recently. So hey, props for that. What is this? What's going on behind him? Is there like a blow-up bed or something? Is this where he lays down all the local honeys while his wife sleeps upstairs? I can't tell. You could have tidied up a bit. I mean, you know what? I can talk. There's a fucking tripod behind me and shit. This is the tiniest room of all time, and it doesn't look this bad. You can mostly just see a wall and a couple of guitars. I have like fucking loads of them, so it kind of. It's just how it is. It looks a bit seedy in here though, no? This looks seedy. This looks like a man who masturbates in this room very frequently. You're a pussy for not accepting reality. Yep. Ask him about transgender identity and watch him do the exact same thing that he criticizes, because all of these skeptics, what they are is actually kind of skeptic about religion. And then very, very, very unskeptical about gender ideology, which is another unfalsifiable thing. It's the cuck mashers when Tyrone is visiting. Okay, maybe. I can't tell which one of them actually fucks around very much. And hey, men bragging about how much sex they have. In most cases, either it's an exaggeration or it should be an exaggeration, and it's probably a bad thing that it's not.
There are no more. We've heard them all. That's the sad reality. God doesn't exist. We're alone on this rock, and there are no smart Christians. It's never going to happen.
There are no smart Christians. He just sounds exactly like Vorsh. Like, I don't know. Did he always sound like Vorsh? I've no idea. Maybe he made more of an effort once in a while, but once in a while back in the day, should I say.
Just going, actually morality is fake. Going, what if we find aliens are? Going,
Well, yeah, if we find aliens, what are they going to say? Well, God probably created them as well. I don't know.
oh, this is so dumb, and needing to look up definitions on the fly and trying to dunk on the other channel's subscriber count is not a good counter-argument. The actual thrust of what these two evangelical guys are getting at here with this TACO taco thing is the argument that an observation of complex structures, like in this case a food item made out of multiple different discrete prepared ingredients, might tend to demonstrate or suggest that the item as a whole has been created by some sort of intelligence. You know, a taco is a shell made out of milled and pressed flour and ground cooked beef and processed, pasteurized and shredded cheese. You look at the assembled taco, and a basic level of familiarity with each of those ingredients means you know all these constituent parts didn't just make themselves, nor did they come together to make a taco on their own. You know that everything that isn't just something you find lying around in nature must have been made by someone, and the more complex a thing is, the more work went into making it. That's the argument anyway. This is their own...
I think it's the insulting smugness that irritated me. Yep, hard same. I'm an atheist as well. But the thing is, I kind of got through the edgy atheist shit when I was a kid. Like, the worst for me was ever just having to sing songs about God in fucking school assembly once in a while. And then they even stopped doing that. And then I was like, the new songs are actually worse than the God songs. Bring the fucking God songs back. I think I just got through a lot of this shit in my teens. And I'm just like, I'm not a religious person. I don't think people should use religion in order as an excuse to like hate on people and shit like that, or live their life in a way that kind of hurts others. But that's not really something you can apply to the average like religious person. And truthfully, like a good friend of mine is a born again Christian. My brother and my mum are both born again Christians. Like, there's people in my life that are religious that I get on very well with, and I just don't have that much of a problem with it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I live in the UK. We're not the most deeply Christian fucking nation in the world. Doesn't really seem like an awful lot of people give much of a shit about religion around here. So, well, they do, but not Christianity as much. Anyway, that's a completely different subject. Let's keep moving.
Been on a thought experiment that's been around for literal centuries called the watchmaker theory, which was originally the suggestion that just as a watch is a complex piece of machinery which requires a trained expert to build, the more complex we understand the natural universe to be, the more it would seem to suggest that the universe itself must have required an advanced creator figure to have made it. Now, people have been penning very eloquent responses to this argument from a number of different angles for just as long as the argument itself has been around. I was expecting...
Seen atheist comments claiming they're treated as outcasts because they had to sing Christian songs at school. Jesus Christ, that's just so cringe. I mean, I literally had the same experience. I used to bitch about it a bit when I was a kid, but it's like, ultimately, who actually cares? Like, who actually cares about that shit, really?
Actual Jake to walk his audience through one of those, perhaps. But I couldn't help but notice he kind of just lets the whole point skate past him while he just does whatever the hell this is instead.
They don't form like this by nature. They have to be put in this formation by a designer.
Apes thinking they're so fucking smart. Anyway, I mashed the corn.
Yeah, it's about what you can expect from actual Jake.
Mashed it, and I mashed it, and I mashed it, and then I mashed it.
What's he talking about? Who fucking knows? He's on a roll. Don't interrupt actual Jake when he's on a roll screaming about something that's got nothing to do with the actual conversation.
Some more, and then I smashed it into a flat, and then I burned it, and then I ate it. All of this is acts of destruction, and it made a tortilla. Therefore, anything I see that resembles something I don't immediately knee-jerk as fucking natural, that's evidence of a designer.
This is basically a microcosm of actual Jake's whole attack strategy throughout this whole video. He just makes...
Let me guess. Just says the same thing in a silly voice and reworded to sound silly.
a lot of noise and smugly acts like he's got a point.
But the thing is, like, his shit is like... It appeals to kids. It appeals to younger people. So I guess that's kind of what you do in that instance. But maybe there's a reason why you're appealing to that kind of person. I mean, at least I'm assuming. Like, I can't think why anyone, like, over the age of about 21 would listen to fucking actual Jake, unless they're very captured by some bizarro ideology that his shit kind of caters to. So I'm guessing mostly weird trannies, let's be real.
When I genuinely don't even think he understands the points these two Christian guys are making. Like a few minutes later...
Well, yeah, how can you claim to understand it, and then all you're doing is saying it in a silly voice back to them?
Not really understanding the point of the watchmaker/taco analogy, Jake just goes, these guys are arguing...
Because here's the thing, it's probably not very difficult to argue against someone making that kind of claim, like the taco having all these different ingredients, when in fact you can say that we've been around for like thousands, millions of years, that these things have probably been things that we've developed over a long period of time. We've learned how to do this with the corn and that with the milk to make cheese and this to make the meat taste a certain way. You know, it's not difficult to put down. I don't know why you'd just resort to screeching right away and just doing the straw man voice. It seems like a very easy argument, honestly, and someone like actual Jake should be able to knock that shit out of the park, like, easily. He's been doing atheist content for like how long? And this is how he does things? Like, come on, that's embarrassing.
That God must have made something if it looks pretty, and there's pretty stuff in nature all the time, so haha, debunked. Ignoring that, of course, that's not the point being made. They never actually said that, he just imagined they would. Then, in an effort to debunk the straw man he's just made...
Oh, soft tacos are actually evidence of God, but that's a whole other story.
Pulls up an image of what he considers a naturally occurring pretty thing, which is a chunk of the element bismuth. And hilariously, I guess he doesn't even notice that the bismuth he shows on stream is actually a specimen that has been synthesized in a lab, you know, made by an intelligent creator, which you can tell just by looking at it. He actually fails to properly dunk on his own straw man.
Yeah, this is the problem. It's like, it's really not hard to argue against, what is it called? Intelligent design? Is that what this whole thing is usually called? He's saying watchmaker theory. Intelligent design theory. Yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing. Let me just check, because I've not heard watchmaker before. Watchmaker arguments. Complexity cannot be caused by chance. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's very easy to argue against this kind of thing, and somehow fucking actual Jake, someone who's been making, like, let me just check, what was it called? Jake and Hannah, or Hannah and Jake or something. Let me just check how old his old channel is, because he should be good at this shit, you know what I mean? Oh, it'd be just Jake, okay. 145k subscribers, and he didn't get a huge amount of them back, unfortunately. Shit. Oldest, 12 years ago. Atheist podcast, 12 years ago. He's been doing this for a long fucking time. He said years and years and years and years to get his shit together and have all of these, like, rebuttals to these arguments on lock. Like, he could be doing this, like, on instinct. Like, it's just a twitch mechanism at that point. But he's so shit at this that he can't. Either that or he's drunk so much of the Kool-Aid, got so fucking high on his own supply, what little he really has, because 34k subscribers is not great for someone in his position. The kind of views he's getting are pretty terrible, honestly. Like, it's just embarrassing. Like, is this really the best he can do?
And point here. Take a look.
Anyway, so they would argue, well, no, God made the world or whatever. So you can't even do anything. You can do this as a naturally occurring thing, and I'm sure many of you already know about this. But some people maybe are like, I don't like rocks or geology. You should like all sorts of science because it's interesting. Why does this happen? Not God is the answer. It just is. It happens due to the way the substance forms, right?
Amazing, amazing.
Or here's another pattern.
All dead subs. Yeah. Most of these channels like peaked a decent while ago. Like this breadtube shit. I mean, like I said, he used to get like arguments with like Destiny and stuff like that. That probably did decently for his followship, because people want to see people like Destiny get dunked on for hopefully obvious reasons. Yeah, I mean, we've got a drama video about the former partner. Like, honestly, some of it's just like 1 year ago, but he piggybacks on drama. Like, he's supposed to be he's supposed to be principally a atheist and a trans ally. His second top view video is like drama he had with a trans person. And then a lot of it is about this Shadversity person who seems to be a very common like leftoid punching bag. We've got the quartering, more Shadversity, stinky opinions. Like, tell me again that this isn't aimed at like literal children. More Shadversity, some debate he had. Peter Coffin and H-Bomber Guy, sticking up for H-Bomber Guy. Wow, amazing. Shadversity again. James Summerton. It's just like drama frogging shit. Cringe. Anyway, yeah, so he's not, he's been around for a long time. You'd think he'd be doing better than this, but hey. That's what happens when you're not very intelligent, I guess.
Pattern I noticed. Jake will hear these guys use a word he doesn't know, so he'll cut them off. Then he'll have to look it up live, barely understand the definition he gets off of Google. Then he'll scoff and keep acting all haughty and arrogant. When I would think that if you don't actually know what these guys are talking about, you shouldn't consider yourself anywhere near capable of critiquing them.
Teleology
Based.
basically means infers design, and you have the fine-tuning of the universe. That
Fine-tune. So we're just, never mind.
Wow, amazing argument, Jake. Well done. Well done.
How the taco is an acronym relating to or involving the explanation of phenomena in terms of the purpose they serve, rather than by the cause by which they arise, relating to the doctrine of design and purpose.
I remember the Stinky Feet guy was actually wild. I'm sure he was, and I'm sure Jake got plenty of views drama frogging off of him. I hope he good Twilight Guardian.
The material world. Yeah, I mean, this is presupposing, of course, a god is the argument, teleologically speaking.
This is basically the big problem I have with content like this video from actual Jake. It's just intellectually empty. It does not engage with any argument from the other side. It doesn't explore any new ideas. A crap like this literally only exists for the people who will never speak to someone who doesn't already believe what they believe. As a progressive, I think it's bad that you can have a profitable, cushy career making garbage content on the internet.
True. That's why I'm trying to do the same thing.
The online marketplace of ideas churns out a lot of garbage. I dislike, say...
Thing is, I say that, I could actually argue against, like, the watchmaker argument. Jake has been an atheist YouTuber for how long? And he seems roundly unable to. And just does silly voices instead.
Andrew Tate-style misogyny influencers, because they're just pandering to an audience by telling them what they want to hear and priming them to believe in a misogynistic dude-bro mindset. I generally dislike the religious evangelizing videos that are just telling a captive audience to believe things on faith and turn their brains off and just believe what...
Yeah, a bit like a lot of these people's fucking videos about gender, and a lot of these people's arguments whenever the conversation about gender comes up.
They're hearing. And equally so, I also dislike the same sort of content just being made on the premise of believe my atheistic worldview just 'cause.
Yeah, I mean, the way it comes across, I guess, is this kind of chud dunking thing that people mention a lot at the moment, where it's just like, because this is a guy that I can make out to be bad, I can pretty much do whatever I want, and I can just be a complete dickhead in my video because I think this person's bad. And like, I hope that I'm aiming for something at least a slight bit like higher minded than that. And maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm being arrogant to not basically say I'm the same shit. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, like just because you're watching someone you consider bad, it doesn't mean you can just turn your brain off and just shit out anything because you know that people that don't like the bad person will shower you with affection because they don't know any better, you know? It really kind of sucks. And like, unfortunately, YouTube is a problem where it's a bit of a fucking intellectual void where almost no one on here actually has any brain whatsoever. So I don't know. I used to watch the Bible Related back in the day. Jake and Hannah, Hugo used to be pretty spicy back in the day when they just hard shifted. Was that around when one of them transitioned by any chance? Because apparently they just got onto like the leftist shit and a lot of people started getting turned off by that. But I don't have this history with like actual Jake. I knew him as what he is now, which is a bread tube debate bro kind of loser, to be honest.
I do not think it is good that someone making content like that can flourish and get themselves a sizable income.
Well, flourish. He hasn't really flourished. Sizable income, maybe. I mean, I'm sure his Patreon does decently. The thing about these legacy channels is they normally have these kind of big Patreon followings. Though I can't see a Patreon. Let me have a look. No, we're not watching actual Jake. Thank you. I really don't need to become stupider. I can't see a Patreon. Shit, he hasn't been even doing this properly, I guess. Oh well, never mind.
And large platform, regardless of what subject or side of the political aisle they're on. Frankly, one of my biggest problems with capitalism is how it allows incredibly dumb, incurious, unskilled people to succeed far too often. One other little thing I just wanted to quickly point out. Throughout these two Christian guys' original video, they play into...
I don't know. How do I feel about that critique of capitalism? I guess it's true. You could argue that even the most useless kinds of people probably need something to do to support themselves because, I don't know, human rights and shit like that. And like the thing is, whether we like it or not, someone like actual Jake is still like filling a niche. Like there's clearly people that want to hear certain things and don't understand why it's not necessarily good for them. So would I blame capitalism? I think ultimately like anyone that fills this kind of niche is just gonna get somewhere. Anyone that's saying something that no one else is saying, or it seems so at the time, or can find a way of just appealing to a lot of people, you know, it just kind of happens, unfortunately. I don't know whether this person's favored model would prevent this kind of thing, but I don't actually know what this person, I don't know what he advocates for, so I'm not sure. A few years before the transition, but I'm sure in the background it was probably being talked about. But yeah, listening to the current stuff and their old TBR is night and day. I'll have to have a look sometime. Thank you.
To the bit about how one of these guys is...
A lot of dumb people have TV to shows like Talk-Tour, yeah. That's another thing. People just randomly go, people just randomly kind of go viral for God knows what reason. They just capture people's imagination for any reason. Do we need capitalism for that to happen? I would argue probably not, really.
Is Mexican, and that's why they're talking about tacos. Or they'll joke about how, you know, evangelism is hard work. That's okay, because I'm a Mexican and therefore good at hard work. And every time they do that, Jake gets all performatively incensed about how racist the video is.
Kind of stereotype, right? Mexicans are hard workers.
What the fuck? How do you just sit here and you listen to him do this to you? This is just how you're...
This is what people do with that Blair White thing. I need to watch it sometime. There's this debate that Blair White was in. I can even find it. It's the same shit people do with that. Where it's like, because this Lauren Witzke person was saying some quite rude things in terms of like her gender and stuff like that. Like people treat her as if she's being a massive cuck and like not defending herself. Like, why won't Blair defend herself by Vorsh? Like, I don't know what this Big Joel shit is. I presume it's patronizing and annoying. Brutal wake-up call talking to Republican Senate candidate Lauren Witzke. Who have more people heard about in this day and age? Lauren Witzke or Blair White? But yeah, because this person was saying some really rude things about her and she was just kind of taking it, like not really coming back with much. People just instantly assume, oh, she's cucked. She's like, whatever. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it kind of seems like Blair is having the last laugh. Because who the fuck is Lauren Witzke right now?
Your life is now on the grind, and you fucking...
Yeah, it is a compliment. I don't know. Like, I don't know. If I was sat here with like a cisgender person and they made some joke about trans people, I probably wouldn't give a fuck. I don't want other people getting offended on my behalf, to be honest with you. I doubt this guy does. And I'm sure someone like Blair White doesn't, you know?
Racist? Why are you like this? I didn't know this was going to happen right off the rip. My first impression of this guy, oh, he's a flaming racist.
Eric wanted to lean
A flaming racist while sat next to his Mexican friend. I presume if the Mexican guy wasn't really down with this shit, he wouldn't be doing it. And like, Mexicans are hard workers. It's not the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna say that much. It's not like he's suggesting that his guy like fucking hopped over the border fence, carrying his kids under each arm, trying to look for a better life. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the thing. Like, he's such a pussy as well. This is such a pussified fucking thing. Like, oh, you're being racist. And then he's like the biggest dick on the planet to anyone who like disagrees with him in any other way. It's so cringe. Like, pick one. Are you a fucking soy pussy fucking loser? Or are you an edgy fucking whatever the fuck, you know? Like, pick one. Stop like trying to float between this like safe edginess, this like justified like hate or something. You know what I mean?
into his Mexican heritage, I suggested how to beat an atheist like a piñata.
Wow. We're still doing it.
Like, this is pussy shit. What are you doing? Like, he's the biggest edgelord in the planet until someone else makes a quasi-racist joke about Mexican people in front of a Mexican guy who probably knows what's coming and probably doesn't care that much. Probably says shit about white people, you know what I mean? Because I guess they have that kind of relationship. I don't know. It's so fucking cringe. Like, pick one. Are you the tough guy who fucking shouts at people for not being woke about gender? Or are you a little pussy freak who can't handle someone giving his Mexican friends some very, very light ribbing about him being a Mexican when he's clearly okay with it? He's just sat right there. He doesn't mind. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. Yeah, I mean, more than that, he flips like a fucking light switch constantly. Like, the edgy shit comes and goes. The woke shit comes and goes. It's like a needle between the two of them. And it's just like flipping wildly. It's so cringe.
Dude, he is fucking racist.
There you go. So Mexican, he couldn't even fucking resist the taco. I'm gonna have to watch the volume because. Oh no, it's gonna change.
Now,
Like, fuck for that. Sorry, I don't like listening to people eat.
if you've got two brain cells to rub together, I don't need to tell you that actually two buddies in a mixed race friendship actually can do a little light-hearted ethnic banter with one another.
Yeah, there we go.
But I guess Jake would have you believe that the dastardly white guy tricked this poor innocent Mexican into appearing in a video and being made the subject of jokes. More to the point,
He's just so good. He's just so good at this. I don't care. I'm probably not a fan of most of cardposting's work. I probably don't agree with him on a huge amount of things, but like, he's just kind of got him, you know what I mean? Just bang to rights. I hope he talks about more of these fucking freaks this way.
hey Jake, if you ever happen to see this, if you think casual racism in a YouTube video is such a real problem, and you care about the plight of the brown man so much, maybe it would be a good look if you didn't keep cutting Mr. Hernandez off to say things like, "This ape thinks he's so smart."
Haha, he's got it. You see what I mean? And because he's like constantly trying to play this game between being edgy and being woke, he fucks it up frequently. They all do. They all do. They all come across as the biggest dicks in the world, trying to tell people how to be nice to each other when they've got no intention of being nice to anyone because they fucking seem to hate almost everyone. It's so bizarre. Just pick a side. Are you edgy or are you woke? Doing both together doesn't work. Like, this, the safe edgy shit is just fucking lame. No one wants it. You know what I mean?
Apes thinking they're so fucking smart.
If there's one positive note to reflect on today, it's that if you were having a sit-down discussion about these sorts of philosophical religious issues in real life, and you acted like actual Jake does here, you would be told to fuck off. Thankfully, people generally know not to act like this to other people in the real world. But I still don't enjoy...
Yeah, and how much do you want to bet? Like, actual Jake is the kind of guy who, like, tweets about punching Nazis and so on. I'm sorry. That guy's never punched a Nazi. That guy probably pisses his pants and trembles in fear if anyone so much as utters a slightly right-wing opinion in his presence. Like, this, like, tough guy shit is so fucking cringe. Like, the woke tough guy shit. It needs to end. It needs to stop. I don't know why actual Jake has anything of a career, even what the fuck little he has now, which is, again, pretty pathetic for someone who's been doing this shit for 12 plus years. But hey.
Seeing anything made with this sort of attitude flourishing online. In any case, it's just something I wanted to express my feelings about. Once again, my name's Card. If you might like to hear more from me, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page, or just take a look at my other videos. Either way, goodbye for now.
There we go. He can take it easy. He's read the script. The man can stop pointing the gun at him. Anyway, just one thing. Just a quick matter of business. Yeah, there we go. Card posting. Absolutely reaming actual Jake. Love to see it. Love to see it. I guess the corn got skewered. I don't know. Throwing some more corn on the barbecue. There's corn jokes in there somewhere. Something about cooking corn.